Hey everyone, it's Father JD. Every year, about this time of year, there's always the question of priest moves that comes up. I know every year we have questions of what priests are going where and when is it happening and when is it going to be announced and when is it public. Well, the answer is this weekend. This weekend, yesterday and today, we announced at Masses the new moves that are taking place. Had a lot of people over the last couple of weeks ask me about when Father Bruce was moving, because everybody knows that when you have an associate who is fantastic, an associate who's ready to be a pastor, that it's quickly is no longer a secret, right? And we can see that. He's grown an amazing amount, and it's truly been a pleasure to serve with him. The shocking part about the announcements this year, though, is that Father Bruce is not moving. Instead, Father Bruce is getting a promotion. Father Bruce is going to become the new administrator here at St. Hilary and St. Anthony, which means that I'm moving. I will be, as of July 1st, I'll be moving to St. Thomas Aquinas on the campus of Nicholls State in Thibodaux. And part of that is because there's a new initiative that's taking place in our diocese for recruiting more young men to be priests. And Father Mitch is going to be overseeing that full time. So that means that as of July 1st, Father Bruce is the new man here. And until June 30th, on June 30th, I'll be moving. This may come as a shock to you. I know it came as a shock to me because I wasn't expecting it, and I was expecting to stay here through the time and through my 6 years and be pastor and love and enjoy this community. And this announcement has given me a chance to kind of reflect on a few things, though, just on the past 3 years, really. And I can honestly say that I'm very grateful to St. Hilary and St. Anthony for being kind of the proving ground or the forge that has kind of allowed me to grow into being a pastor. But it's bittersweet because I cherish the time that I've been here, the time that I've been able to serve as your pastor, both of St. Hilary and St. Anthony, being able to walk with these two communities through the growing pains of being a pastor and the unprecedented time that was COVID and being locked at home and live stream masses and everything like that, to the decimation and destruction of Hurricane Ida. These last 3 years have truly been a time of turmoil, a time of struggle in a lot of our lives, I know, but at the same time a place of a lot of growth. I'm very grateful that these two communities have kind of forged me into a pastor. 3 years ago when I got here, I wasn't ready to be a pastor. I had a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to learn. But the last 3 years and just the things that we have walked through together have really, I think, prepared me well and kind of allowed me to grow personally. To be the priest that I need to be for my people. I've been reflecting a lot, though, on the first chapter of St. Mark's Gospel. In that first chapter, St. Mark writes that Jesus went to the synagogue in Capernaum first, and he preached. He unrolled the scroll of the prophecy of the coming Messiah, and in that prophecy, after reading the words of the prophet, he sat down and said, This scripture is fulfilled and you're hearing it, that this prophecy, I am the coming Messiah. From there he left and he went to heal St. Peter's mother-in-law, and after that word kind of spread throughout his hometown, the place where Jesus had kind of established himself and lived more on a full-time basis, and as the word started to spread, the people started to come to him. And people were coming to him to be healed, to hear him, to listen to him, to see what the commotion was about, if you will. The next morning, and this is the part that I've really been focusing on, is Jesus wakes up early in the morning and goes off to pray like he was one to do. And as he goes off to pray, Peter comes to find him. And Peter says, everyone is looking for you. The entire town, the entire area is looking for you because they've seen what you've done. And Jesus hears that, feels that pressure, and he responds to St. Peter by saying, let's go to another town. It's time to go to another village. It's time to go to another place. I know that Jesus wanted to stay. I know that he wanted to stay where he was and just kind of establish himself and not move. I love you. I've come to really enjoy being back at home, being able to celebrate with you and to mourn with you and to grow with you and to walk with you through all the things of life. But as Jesus, being docile to the Father, being docile to God, being docile to as a son to a good and loving Father, he goes. He follows the Lord's command. He follows God's command. He follows Yahweh's command. Through the voice of the bishop, so Bishop Fab before he left, through the voice of the College of Consultors, and just continually reaffirming over these last few weeks that God right now is calling me to do a different kind of ministry. It's a very bittersweet thing. It's sweet because my vocation, my spiritual life, my growth in my own faith really matured in college. Won't be at the purple and gold, but the red and gray will be just fine, right? But my vocation really, or my spiritual life really matured in college and grew a lot. And in a particular way, I think it's interesting that while my spiritual life was claimed as my own, and I had my initial conversion in high school here at St. Hilary, I think it's very interesting that now God is calling me into a new place, a new phase, to maybe mature as a pastor on a college campus even more. So it's sweet in that I'm going to a place that I'm familiar with and that a ministry that I like. I served there as a transitional deacon 5 years ago. And it's the type of ministry that I like and typically comes natural to me. But it's bitter in the sense that it's always hard to say goodbye. That it's hard to love someone, to love a community like St. Hilary and St. Anthony, like this area, and then say goodbye to it. Know that I love you. Know that I always will hold these two communities in my heart, not just as a young knucklehead that used to run around in this area when I was in high school and younger. Not just because I got more family members that are around this church than any in the diocese, or that my parents don't have to drive very far to come see me at church. But know that I've grown to love this place because it formed me as a pastor. You, the faithful, have let me into your hearts. And that is a particular place of reverence. That's a particular place of honor that I, as a priest, get to enjoy. Thank you for letting me be part of your families, for letting me grow, for letting me love you, and for loving me back. We have months between now and June 30th, and we have some time to say our goodbyes, and there'll be plenty of time to do that. But I do want to close with this. That Father Bruce is ready to lead you. I can honestly say that I don't see a better situation than him being able to stay here, become the administrator, and to lead this community well. A diocesan administrator cannot name a pastor for at least a year. So everybody that is moving is being named as administrators at their new parishes. I am going to be an administrator at St. Thomas, and Father Bruce will be an administrator here. but he is your new leader. He's your new pastor. And I honestly don't think that there's a better situation that could have come up. I trust him. I know you've come to love him and trust him. And I'm excited to see how he grows and how he loves the same way that I was able to grow and to love and be loved. With Father Bruce being promoted and me leaving, that does leave an opening. So Deacon Stephen Castillo, who is currently a transitional deacon and is finishing up his schooling at Notre Dame, he was going to be getting ordained first weekend in June, and after he's ordained, he's going to be assigned here to help out on the weekends and to be the support to Father Bruce as he needs. Very excited for Deacon Stephen because he gets to come to one heck of a community in St. Hilary and St. Anthony. He gets to be formed the same way that Father Bruce was formed as a newly ordained priest, and I was formed as a newly appointed pastor by you. I know one of the biggest fears as a priest is when we leave a community. There's always a worry of, will the people be taken care of? As much as we trust the person, as much as we know and love our brother who might be following us up, there's always this kind of this nervousness, if you will. I can honestly say I don't have that nervousness because I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Father Bruce. I'm excited for Deacon Stephen and to be Father Stephen. To be able to serve and to see how this community continues to grow. There'll be plenty of time for goodbyes, but for now, let's suffice to say, I love you, I'm going to miss you, and we still have time, but I look forward to being able to speak with you privately and just to be able to have some good closure here. So pray for me, pray for Father Bruce, pray for Deacon Stephen, and pray for our entire diocese as we go through this time of transition. I love you. God bless you.